Hi y'all, it's Belle. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm gonna share with y'all some wintertime reads that I'm excited to read. So these are ones I haven't read yet. I'll do a separate video of winter reads that I do recommend. Well, these are winter reads that either the setting, the cover, for some reason, they make me want to read them during the wintertime. So I'll get started. First we have the Dyerville Tales by M.P. Kozlowsky. And just the cover alone has me thinking winter. And if y'all hear the washing machine in the background, I'm sorry. I couldn't wait any longer. Vince Elgin is an orphan, having lost his mother and his father in a fire when he was young. But beyond that, his life hasn't been much of a fairy tale. With only a senile grandfather he barely knows to call family, Vince was interned in a group home where he spun fantastical stories and dreamed that his father, whose body was never found, might one day return for him. But it's been a long time since the fire, a long time since Vince has told himself a story worth believing in. That's when a letter arrives telling Vince his grandfather has passed away. Vince cannot explain it, but he's convinced that if his father is somehow still alive, he'll find him at the funeral. He strikes out for the small town of Dyerville, carrying only one thing with him, his grandfather's journal. The journal tells a tale that could not possibly be true, the story of his grandfather's young life with witches, giants, magical books, and evil spirits. But as Vince reads on and gets closer to Dyerville, fact and fiction begin to intertwine, and Vince finds that his very real adventure may have more in common with his grandfather's than he ever could have known. That sounds very intriguing. Beautiful full-page illustrations sprinkled throughout too. So very excited for that. We have Murder in Midwinter by Fleur, Hitchcock. I have a lot of books from this author, so I'm very excited to finally read one. I mean Midwinter, and then the cover, so of course winter vibes. If looks could kill, when Maya takes a photo from the top of a bus, she has no idea of the trouble it will bring. The bright shop window is gorgeous, but the couple arguing in front of it look as if they want to kill each other. And when her flash goes off, they look as if they want to kill her too. Then a body turns up. The police suggest that Maya should go away for a while, somewhere remote, somewhere safe. Her aunt's farm in the Welsh mountains is a perfect place to hide, and soon it's snowing hard enough to cut them off completely. No one can get in and no one can get out. But does that mean there's nothing to fear? Very intrigued by that. So excited. Can't wait. We have the Missing Barbigazzi by H.S. Norup. I think the other book by her I read was The Hungry Ghost, and I absolutely loved it, so I cannot wait to get to this. And of course, winter vibes just from she's skiing. And Tessa has heard her grandfather's stories about the fabled Barbegazi since she was little. Now, after his death, she's determined to see the gnome-like creatures for herself and prove her grandfather wasn't just a confused old man. When Tessa discovers Gawain, a young male Barbegazi, she's overjoyed. She can finally show everyone that her grandfather was telling the truth. But Gawain needs her help. His sister is missing and may have been captured by humans. As the two form a friendship, Tessa realizes that uncovering the truth about the Barbegazi carries great responsibilities, and sometimes things have to remain a secret. So that sounds incredible and very atmospheric. Can't wait. And then I have Northern Lights by Philip Pullman. I was gonna get them all, but this is when I decided to stop buying sequels to series I hadn't even started yet. So right now I just have the first book, but I think there's 3, and I love these covers. Lyra Balakwa and her animal Damon live half wild and carefree among the scholars of Jordan College, Oxford. Her destiny will take her to the frozen lands of Arctic, where witch clans reign and ice bears fight. And the extraordinary journey that awaits her will have immeasurable consequences far beyond her own world. That doesn't tell me a lot, which is fine, but I've always heard great things, so I'm very excited. And then I have a very big, thick, chunky trilogy. Prue McKeel's life is ordinary, at least until her baby brother is abducted by a murder of crows, and then things get really weird. You see, on every map of Portland, Oregon, there is a big splotch of green on the edge of the city labeled IW. This stands for Impassable Wilderness. No one's ever gone in, or at least returned to tell of it. And this is where the crows take her brother. So begins an adventure that will take Prue and her friend Curtis deep into the impassable wilderness. There they uncover a secret world in the midst of violent upheaval, a world full of warring creatures, peaceable mystics, and powerful figures with the darkest intentions. And what begins as a rescue mission becomes something much bigger as the two friends find themselves entwined in a struggle for the very freedom of this wilderness. A wilderness that locals call Wildwood. There's black and white illustrations sprinkled throughout, and then I come across color ones too. And they're all so beautiful. Very excited for this trilogy. I've had it forever, so I want to get to it. And we have Griffin's Castle by Jenny Nimmo. And I think she's the author of Charlie Bone, if I'm not mistaken, which is another series I haven't read, but I need to. This cover, it looks like it's snowing. They're all bundled up. Magic happens when stone animals come to life. After years of moving around, 11-year-old Dinah is determined to make a run-down old mansion home for her and her mother. Lonely and friendless from constantly moving, Dinah finds herself wishing the animal statues protecting a nearby Welsh castle would keep her company. Suddenly, to Dinah's surprise, the stone animals begin to magically spring from the walls and follow her home. At first, Dinah welcomes the unusual beasts as they watch over her, but when the animals refuse to let Dinah leave the house, she quickly realizes that these mysterious creatures aren't rescuing her, they're imprisoning her. Very intrigued by that synopsis, so very excited to get to this. Sounds incredible. This just screams winter in every single way. The title, the cover. This is The Winter King by Christine Cohen. And all it says on the back is, a village trapped in winter, a tyrannical god, and a girl who will do anything to keep her family alive. The Winter King is a beautiful book in every way, stirring and lovely, a tale of courage marinated in deep truth and laced with echoes of Till We Have Faces. This is exactly the kind of book I want to fill my family's shelves with. And that's quoted from N.D. Wilson, who is author of 100 Coverage series and Outlaws of Time. Another one that doesn't tell you much, but I get to enough to be intrigued, plus beautiful cover. Then we have Ember and the Ice Dragons by Heather Fawcett. This is another one I've had for a long time, but ever since I read The School Between Winter and Fairyland by her and loved it, I wanted to read more from her. And this is perfect for winter. Ice Dragons. Ember St. George is a dragon. At least she was before her adoptive father, a powerful but accident-prone magician, turned her into a human girl to save her life. Unfortunately, Ember's growing tendency to burst into flames at certain temperatures, not to mention her invisible wings, is making it too dangerous for her to stay in London. The solution? Ship Ember off to her aunt's research station in frigid Antarctica. Though eccentric Aunt Myra takes getting used to, Ember quickly feels at home in this island of ice storms, mischievous penguins, and 24-hour nights. She even finds herself making friends with a girl genius called Nisha and a mysterious orphan named Moss. Then she discovers that Antarctica is home to the winter glass hunt, a yearly tradition in which rare ice dragons are hunted for their jeweled scales. Furious, Ember decides to join the hunt to sabotage it from the inside. But being an undercover dragon isn't easy, especially among dragon hunters. Can a 12-year-old fire dragon survive the dangers that come her way in the Antarctic wilderness and protect the ice dragons from extinction? It does sound amazing, and I'm very excited. Then we have Vasilisa by Julie Matheson. And anytime I see the house with chicken legs, I think winter stories. Plus it looks like there's snow on his roof, so just gives me a vibe. It's 1919, but in Edenfall, Pennsylvania, the Great War is not over. Not for Vasilisa, at least. Papa is presumed dead on the fields of Flanders, Mama is being courted by an absolute ogre, and now Babka, her beloved grandma, has had a bad spell. Or has she fallen under one? Only the old tales, the Russian fables Vasilisa was raised on, offer any comfort or counsel. But what if they were more than child's tales? Enter Ivan, who jumps a train for Edenfall at midnight and finds Vasilisa in a real fix. He's on his own quest, but old Russ is calling from across time in both worlds, and if they heed the call, they might both get what they want. It won't be easy. 3 witches, 2 children, 1 ogre. They're outnumbered and outclassed. Baba Yaga and old Hashe are after the same thing and each other, and the children are caught in the crosshairs. Vasilisa has a secret weapon in the humblest of guises, but will the meek truly inherit the earth, or will the mighty prevail? One thing is certain, it's a fairy tale of their own making, a tale whose happy ending is ever in doubt. I'm very intrigued. I love Baba Yaga stories, so I'm very excited for that. And a couple more that I don't know their setting, but just for some reason or another, the cover just gives me wintertime vibes, especially the first cover. But it's a Clock of Stars series. And I have the first 2 books that are currently out. And the first book is The Shadow Moth, and the second book is Beyond the Mountains. And like I said, just the first cover, and it's an excuse to put it as I want to read for the season. Has some beautiful art throughout. I mean, the mountains kind of look wintry. Imogene should be nice to her little sister Mary. She should be nice to her mom's boyfriend too. And she certainly shouldn't follow a strange silver moth through a door in a tree. But then, who does what they're told? Soon Imogene and Marie find themselves trapped in a magical kingdom where no one behaves as they should, and the sisters must move fast to escape monsters that come out after dark. Longing to return home, they find help from a spoiled prince, a dancing bear, and even the stars above. Excited to finally get to these, so hopefully I can. And we have these. They don't look polar, but it's Russian folklore and Vikings are mentioned, and I've read some reviews that said they were wintry time reads, I think. So, and I'm having forever, so I want to read them. It's Anya and the Dragon by Sophia Pasternak. This is the first book. This is the second. And this is the second book. Don't stand out. That's what Anya's babushka has always told her. Keep to yourself and don't cause trouble. But their family is about to lose their home, and Anya isn't about to stand around and do nothing. Her best option is working with the Tsar's henchmen, who offer an easy bargain, money in exchange for helping them capture a dragon, which Anya isn't even sure exists. With magic on their side, it seems like a pretty easy deal. But in this tale of mayhem and magic, other fantastical creatures abound, as do tyrannical rulers, violent Vikings, and Russian folk heroes, making Anya question everything she thought she knew. As secrets are revealed and loyalties tested, she'll have to make the most difficult decision of her life. Save her family or save her friends. So I'm very excited. And we have these two. The first book is Prisoner of Ice and Snow. So title, Winter. These are by Ruth Lauren. Second book, Seeker and the Crown. When 13-year-old Valor is sent to jail, she couldn't be happier. Demodova's prison for criminal children is exactly where she wants to be. Valor's twin sister, Sasha, is serving a life sentence for stealing from the royal family, and Valor is going to help her escape from the inside. Never mind that no one has escaped the prison in centuries. Valor has a master plan and resources most people could only dream about, but she didn't count on having to outsmart both the guards and her fellow prisoners. If Valor's plan is to succeed, she'll need to make some unlikely allies, and if the plan fails, she and Sasha could end up with fates worse than prison. Yeah. Set against the backdrop of an icy queendom, this thrilling fantasy adventure is only the start to Valor's quest to protect those she loves at all costs. So, icy queendom. Very excited. Lastly for this video, I'm sure there's going to be a part 2 for winter reads as well. So I think I forgot to mention that. Voyage to the Magical North is the first book. So, Magical North. By Claire Fayers. Second book is The Journey to Dragon Island. 12-year-old Brian Seaborn is a girl with a past, if only she could remember what it is. Found alone in a rowboat as a child, clutching a shard of the rare star shell needed for spellcasting, she spent the past years keeping house for an irritable magician and his obnoxious apprentice, Peter. When Brian and Peter get themselves into a scrape and flee, they blunder into the path of the legendary pirate ship Anya. Before you can say pieces of 8, they're up to their necks in the pirate's quest to find Magical North, a place so shrouded in secrets and myth that most people don't even think it exists. If Brian is lucky, she'll find her place in the world, and if she's unlucky, everyone on the ship will be eaten by sea monsters. It could really go either way. So just from that, it doesn't sound too wintry, but Magical North, you never know. So I thought I'd include them. Alright, that's it for part 1 of some middle grades that I want to read in wintertime. I hope y'all enjoyed the video. And as usual, the illustrators will all be listed below. And I will see y'all in my next video.